It's time for Remodel Revolution. And now, an award-winning contractor with over 40 years experience. Here is Alex Guthrie.
Welcome to another episode of Remodel Revolution. I'm your host, Alex Guthrie. We are coming to you from the world headquarters of Remodel Revolution from deep in the heart of the great state of Texas. This is the show that has no politics, no sports, and only really nice people. No mean people. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad to have you here today. I have my friend Poonam Patel with me co-hosting today. Hello, Miss Poonam. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. So glad to have you here. Thanks so much for coming in.
It's always a pleasure to spend the morning with you.
Alex. We're going to have a great show. We are going to talk about a few things. We got some things Poonam's going to do part one of Poonam's pandemic projects. That's what I'm going to start calling it. Poonam's pandemic projects. These are projects you can do around your house while you're stuck in it. And they're affordable and they're doable. And if you don't want to do it, ask your husband. Don't ask him, demand. Don't ask, demand. But first, as always, we're going to do a remodeler's tip today. And I wanted to talk about buying tools. And I'm not going to talk about the types of tools, but I want to talk about some tips on selecting tools. Because in my experience, having spent really my whole life with some kind of a tool in my hand every day, I know that there's a lot of cheap imitations of good tools. And so the market's been flooded with it, and there's actually big stores that only sell like cheap imitations of good tools. But there's some things that you need to understand when you're making these selections. And this came up with me, Poonam, because I know that there's so many people. So I'm in Home Depot or Lowe's, and the parking lot looks like Christmas Eve. I mean, they're packed. And I've asked them a couple of times, why are so many people in here? And they said, well, it's homeowners that aren't working, that are doing projects on their homes. And so that means that there's going to be a lot of people purchasing tools for those projects. And so I wanted I made a few notes of things I wanted to bring up to you today. First of all, cheaper ain't better. Cheap tools always break down at the wrong time, and they're very undependable. So you can find a certain drill, for instance, that looks really expensive. It looks like that real expensive drill right next to it, but it's half the price. Well, there's probably some parts in it that are cheaper. The housing might be cheaper. The motor might not be good. The plug might not be good. So there's a couple things to look at. With electronic tools, you want to make sure that you get a tool that is UIL listed. That means it's been tested to be safe. Make sure you always, when you're getting electric tools, just like any other appliance, that you get a UIL listed. It's got a little tag on it that'll tell you about it. And while we're talking about electric tools, I want to talk about tools that are battery operated. Batteries have really changed. Power storage has changed in batteries and really come a long way. It's really changed the whole landscape of electric tools, because you can virtually buy any tool you want now that used to be a plug-in. You can get it now where it's battery operated, and because of the strength of the batteries and the storage capacity in them, they've become really small, really light, and real powerful. And so you'll have a choice of anywhere from a 12 volt to a 20 volt battery. There may be bigger ones, I don't know. Now, it used to be that when you got to that over 12 volt size of battery, the battery pack was so big and bulky that it made the tool hard to use. Well, now they're tiny. And you need to make sure that when you're buying a tool for a certain project, that you have enough power in that battery that you're not having to recharge it every 10 minutes. So let's say you're buying a drill that's a screw gun to, maybe you're building a deck behind your house and you're going to screw all the boards down. Well, if you have an 18 volt battery that's really powerful. And that thing will last quite a while. That'll last 2-3 hours of you screwing constantly, driving screws into that deck. If you have a 12 volt, it won't, and you'll get frustrated. So think about what you're using the tool for, and get the size of battery based on that. Now, you know, a good quality tool is going to last you a lifetime. I mean, I have even I have saws, all kinds of stuff that I've had for, 40 years now. And of course, I quit using them about 20 years ago. But anyway, I still have them and they still work just fine. And so it's a lifetime investment. So get a good tool. Stanley Black & Decker announced this week, actually they announced this a few weeks ago, but it came over the news again, I think yesterday or day before, that they are building a facility in Fort Worth. They're moving their operations from China back to here to Fort Worth, Texas. And we're very proud of that here in North Texas. Very, very proud to have them moving back to here. And I say, buy American. What do you say?
Quality is very important when you buy tools, and sometimes it's hard to know where quality comes from. You know, I think you just got to do your research, like Alex suggested, and look at the UL sticker and make sure you read reviews.
Are you glad to have Stanley Black & Decker moving to Fort Worth?
I think it's great when we have our Metroplex growing with large companies. It makes our city better.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't?
for sure. So do you have a toolkit for your house?
I have a tool chest.
A tool chest.
Yeah,
She has a tool chest.
I have a chest.
like a chest you can climb in, or how big is your tool chest?
It's about, I would say maybe 4 foot wide.
So does
2
it
feet
have
tall.
girl tools or guy tools?
What do you mean? Tools
I mean,
are tools.
I
don't understand.
I'll just be more direct. Who does the work around the house, you or your husband?
Both of us.
Oh. Well, one of the tips I want to give you guys today is YouTube. And my wife has become an expert, an appliance repair woman, because of YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate that. All I have to do is drive and pick up the parts and hand them to her, and then I go fishing. And then I always know that washing machine is working tip-top, tip-top. Let's talk about combo tool kits also. So you can go to the big box store, you can buy this big old box, and it'll have circular saw, reciprocal saw, couple of drills, this and that. It'll have everything in there. And the question is, are those quality tools? Well, there's always going to be 1 or 2 really good quality tools in that box, but maybe not all of them. So before you make that big investment in that big box of tools, you want to make sure you're getting the quality of tools that you need for the project that you're doing. So you may not want to buy that big combo kit, but buy them separately. Some companies started out making certain types of tools. I know there's companies that we used to only buy drills from, and companies we would only buy circular saws from. That's what they were really good at. And then they've all sort of expanded and morphed into these big giant tool companies. And I know they make quality tools, but maybe not all of their tools are best for where you want to buy a combo box thing with all of them in it. So really kind of do your research on that. Also, I wanted to mention one of the best tools that I have found lately that has really made a big change, I think, in the industry, and that is the oscillating, it's called a multi-tool, and it's a little oscillating blade that kind of looks like it's just vibrating, but you can cut into the middle of like a piece of wood or a piece of sheetrock if you want to cut a square out of the middle. This tool is fantastic, but you want to make sure that you get one that's got enough power. A lot of people are buying them, so I'm bringing it up. I love them. I have one. I bought one that plugs in because I want to make sure I have enough power when I need it. But check out those multi-tool. It's an oscillating tool. It'll replace 2 or 3 other types of saws. And then lastly, well, I have 2 more items real quick. Classes. Both of the big box stores before this pandemic were doing classes on like how-to classes. Have you ever done any of those, Poonam?
I've been wanting to go. I've been
Yeah.
wanting to go to learn how to do them. I just haven't had time.
Well, if you have the opportunity and you're doing certain things, try the how-to classes because it'll teach you safety, which is my final point I wanted to make with these tools. Always make sure that you have proper eyewear, hearing, and hand protection. Always. It's never a good idea to wear shorts when you're using power tools. Trust me, I've made that mistake. I have some pictures on my website of my leg after it got beat up by a weed eater because I was wearing shorts. So you need to be, Ziggy's laughing, he thinks, and I've got to tell you, Ziggy, every time my neighbor sees me pull out the weed eater, they come over and go, "Are you wearing shorts, Alex?" They're just not nice people. They're not, they're relentless.
You had witnesses.
They're relentless. They're relentless. I don't know why I deserve that. So that's our remodeler's tip, selecting tools. If you have any questions, if you're thinking about getting some tools or you're having a hard time deciding what to get for a certain project, feel free to email me, Alex at Remodel Revolution Radio or Alex at remodelrev.com. That's remodelrev.com or remodelrevolutionradio.com. And I'll be happy to answer your questions or ask me on Facebook. Okay, now, our next segment is, you and I talked about this, and there seems to be this kind of universal psychosis right now in our country, probably maybe globally, where people are not sleeping. They can't sleep. We're all stressed out, and people are having weird dreams, bad dreams. They're having problems just getting to sleep or waking up. And you told me you or one of your friends is telling
yeah,
you.
I have so many friends who are telling me that they couldn't sleep last night till 2 a.m., waking up early. I just, when I heard that you wanted to discuss this, it just, maybe it's a real thing, you know, because I
No,
have
it's a
plenty.
thing. It's a
Yeah.
thing. They're talking about it in the news a lot. And I thought there's some, I went and I did some research on the internet and I found some ideas on how to create a good place to sleep. How, you know, and I just like Googled how to sleep better or something like that. And all of these, you know, things came up and they're pretty common solutions to this. I will tell you one thing, and I'm not trying to be preachy to you. I quit drinking 5 years ago. I'm very proud of that, incidentally. And as I've always heard, and I'm now going to tell you from my experience that alcohol does not help you sleep. If you think that having a few before bed is going to help you get through the night, you're wrong. You may pass out, stay in bed all night, but you're not really sleeping good. And so stimulants aren't really what you need to sleep, and it's particularly that. So that has other uses. So I wanted to make that comment. I want to start out with that. So here are some ideas, and this is an article by Amanda Hawkins and Lauren Smith McDonough. This is from a couple of years, 3 years ago, actually. And but it's pretty common with all of the articles I read. They all had a lot of common things to say. And they used as their expert Jonathan Scott with Stearns and Foster. Now, I read articles from, the first one I read, Poonam, was from the Alaska Sleep Research Institute, which was interesting because I've been in Alaska in a tent in the forest in the middle of the part of the year where it's 24-hour light.
Wow.
And so I was drinking wine. So it still didn't help me sleep. But I mean, it's hard to sleep when there's light on. It's just hard. Now, I'm the type of person that I need, or I like to have like total darkness, total quiet. I don't mind the crickets and the frogs, but I don't want a TV going. And that is one of the things that is universally agreed to in this in all these articles, is if you have a TV in your room, or you have something emitting particularly blue light, the little blue light on your clock or whatever, that is a light that apparently makes your body think that it's morning. That's like a daytime kind of light, and that really creates a problem for people to sleep. TVs are terrible to have in your bedroom if you're having problems sleeping. That's just not going to do it for most. And it's not that you don't fall asleep. You just don't get a good, deep, REM-y sleep, you know? So one of the things that they had on here that had a huge impact on me, and Ziggy, I want you to listen to this. This is very important. They all agree that you need to make your bed up every morning. The first thing you do when you get up is make your bed up. So I tried that this morning. And you're not going to believe what happened when I did that. I found $13.47 in change. My favorite pair of Nike sneakers I've been missing for like 3 months. And my favorite number 88 Drew Pearson cowboy jersey. All from making my bed up. My life has changed. Okay, clear out the clutter. This is the advice from the experts. Clear out the clutter. Turn off the lights. Ban reminders of work. Now, do you have a computer in your bedroom? Do you take work to bed with you?
I do not.
Okay, that's good. That's a good girl. Good girl. You get 10 points. Keep it cool. Now, most guys are like, duh, keep it cool. Now, my wife, and she is pretty typical of women her age, she puts on full, like, jogging suit, a hot pad in the bed, 3 or 4 blankets, has the TV going, and has the fan going full blast above her. And then she throws the cover off in the middle of the night and goes, man, it's hot in here. Really? I don't know what it is with women. I don't know. But anyway, get yourself comfortable. And one of the reasons this is a remodeling show, not a sleep show, but there's a few things you can do. And we're going to talk about something related to this in just a little while. Add a relaxing scent, and that is use aromatherapy in your room. Apparently there's scents that will help you kind of calm down and sleep. Did you know that?
I did not know that they could help you sleep.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty impressive. Invest in sheets. Never skimp on the sheets. Okay, this is on the list. I didn't write the list. And then keep it quiet, and then make your bed, get a comfortable bed. Now, if you're sleeping with a partner, sometimes that's, a difficult discussion to have, because one of you likes it soft and one of you maybe doesn't like it so soft when you're sleeping with someone else. And then try meditation before bedtime. And then lastly is the color you paint the room. So like if you're doing a Poonam's pandemic project, this could be a great project for you. Painting the room blue, because apparently blue helps you sleep when it's painted on the walls, but not apparently with the light. So did you know that?
Yeah, every color has a certain emotion and psychology associated with it. And blue and green are typically associated with bringing peace and calm. If you notice fast food restaurants, they're always some bright racy color like red, orange, or yellow, like McDonald's or KFC. So yeah, in the world of design, colors typically have the ability to bring out emotion and
One of the
affect your
colors they had
psychology.
in there to paint your bedroom was yellow for sleep. I went, no way. I don't know where it's a joke, right? Would you paint your bedroom yellow to help you sleep?
I painted my guest bedroom yellow because it was my father's favorite color, not necessarily for whenever he comes over and stays, but not necessarily for helping someone sleep better.
Well, I'll tell you, that's my tip on sleeping, and the reason that I wanted to talk about that today is because we seem to be having problems. We've all got a lot of stress on us, and one of the things that is super important for all of us is a good night's sleep, a good 7-8 hours of sleep. And it's becoming harder and harder. It's becoming a national crisis. So do some things to help yourself sleep. Do a little research. You might want to make a few changes in your lifestyle. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Poonam's pandemic projects. This is going to be the first in a series of projects that Poonam has put together for you to make your life better. We'll be right back.
The hardest working and arguably most important system in our homes is our air conditioning and heating system. It heats the air, it cools the air, and it filters the air. That's why it's so critical to have it checked and maintained by the very best professionals available. It's time to contact Total Air and Heat at TotalAir.com. Get that system pruned and tuned. If you want to have the very best experience, you've got to hire the very best company. Total Air's employees are honest, well-trained, and thoroughly background checked. I never have to worry about sending their technicians out to my clients' homes. Family owned and operated for 3 generations, Total Air and Heat has been a fixture in North Dallas for over 60 years. Total Air is a proud dealer of the Trane air conditioning systems, and you know how hard it is to stop a train, so give them a call at 972-881-0020. That's 972-881-0020, or contact them at TotalAir.com today.
Air quality is super important when you're obviously living in an enclosed environment. And now we're all living in these enclosed environments. We're not getting out as much. We can't. They're not letting us anyway. They're not encouraging it. And we're all kind of stuck in there together, the whole family. And so Poonam has come up with some ideas and recommendations to help clean the air in your house naturally. Take it away, Poonam Patel.
Yeah, so one of the things that I was Googling one morning was how to, a segue from feeling a little bit more calm and how to get good rest. It's just breathing and, counts of 3 and holding it and then exhaling it to help bring some peace and calm during quarantine and when your family is driving you up the wall. And one of the things that I was thinking about is, how can you breathe when people are having allergies and there's VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds, which are these pollutants that are actually in your house? It's a real thing. If you Google building sickness, you can learn more about it. And so I was just trying to think of what are some really cool, quick things that people can do in their homes to really improve the quality of their lifestyle within their home that has a huge impact by just making small design and decor adjustments. And so we'll kick the series off with air quality. And, just starting with the whole idea of allergies, you just can't breathe well. And so some of the most common sources of allergies are, could be food related, gluten, mold, drugs, pets, pollen, and latex. And some of these can be handled from a design and decor standpoint. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a study actually conducted by NASA. What NASA did was they put all of these pollutants, VOCs, and chemicals into a chamber, and they measured exactly how many they put in. And what they did was they put a plant in each chamber for 24 hours. And after that time period, they measured how many of those pollutants were removed from the chamber. And they came up with a list of top 10 air cleaning plants. How cool is that? It's not that hard to buy a plant. It'll make your house look so much beautiful and clean the air for you naturally and organically. One of the things that my husband commented about was, oh my God, if you bring a plant in the house, there's going to be little bugs flying around and things like that. Don't worry, they have sprays for that, organic sprays that you could just spray the soil and the plant just a little bit to help keep the bugs away. But I encourage you to look at this chart of top 10 plants recommended by NASA. If we can pull up that chart, I have this really cute chart that shows you what each plant looks like, what they're called, and how roughly the size they are, and the colors. And so if you're looking for color, you might want to stick with the 2 on the bottom left. And then if you want something a little bit taller, you might want to go on the right-hand side. Or you can just simply Google NASA plant air study, and you can come up with the full list if you're looking for a specific chemical or specific VOC that you're trying to get rid of.
You know, the interesting thing is that this list of plants is very typical of what a lot of people already have in their houses. I mean, I looked at it and I went, wow, I'm not even really a plant person, and I recognized almost all of those, and some of them I have in the house now. And I had no idea it was helping with the air purification in the house. I thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, and it's just something quick, simple you can do. You can pick one up on your next grocery store errand, and most places have plants out front, or like if you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, they have a section just for gardening, and it's quick and very easy for someone to do. The next tip that I have to help improve the quality of air, to help you breathe better and bring some calm into your life, is to really consider the kind of air filter you get. They have air filters that are 1 inch thick, 2 inch thick, all the way up to 5. So depending on how often you change them out, could help take some of those pollutants and dust and things like that. There's one source that I read where they recommend the 5-inch one, just because you don't have to change it as often, and it has the ability to filter more of the pollutants out.
Of course, and when you do that, of course, your air conditioning system is designed for a certain type of filter. So if you're going to go to a HEPA filter, which is what Poonam's referring to, you may have to have your AC contractor come out and change the system to adapt to that type of filter. But she's absolutely right that the HEPA filters are really, really the best way to go to get the little microcosm, the little tiny bitty air pollution things out of the air and filter them out.
The next tip I have is to be sure to machine wash your rugs, your drapes, even your shower curtains if you have any. And I recommend washing them on delicate cycle and air drying them, because they tend to actually collect and act as a filter themselves to hold the dirt that comes in and particles in the air. So don't forget to wash them. And if your items that you currently have are not machine washable on a delicate cycle, it's very easy to hop online and fairly inexpensive to get some that are. There's so many companies out there. A quick Google search will help you with that. The other thing that I wanted to recommend is that we love our furry friends, our pets, and I think it's really important to make sure that we bathe them often. It's something quick and simple that you could do over the weekend, especially people who own dogs. When you go out and walk your pet, their fur is kind of acting like the filter, the carpets in our house, and bringing all those elements from the outdoors, collecting those pollutants and bringing them into your home. So a quick and easy thing you could do is just wash them. I know it's not really a design or decor tip, but it will help really improve, get rid of that sick building syndrome. Two more things for you. A Dyson Vacuum. I love the Dyson Vacuum. It really you can see and compare from your old vacuum and the Dyson how much more it can pick up. It has the ability to pick up things that your eyes really can't pick up. And so I highly recommend it. They often come on sale on Costco for $50 to sometimes $150 off. And the last tip I'd like to share with you is to recommend getting an allergy test done at your home. Alex actually knows a healthy home expert who I'll let him
Carolyn
introduce his contact.
Blazowski, who is a regular guest on our program, and she's got a system. Actually, she invented it and designed it that you can put in your house, and it'll test the air for you, particularly for molds and allergens. And so that's a Healthy Home Expert. Go on her website and check that out, and you can purchase that actually and put it in your home. So, but we'll have her on again soon because we love her. She's so much fun, like you. So we talk about air quality a lot on this show. We have for many years talked about air quality, and part of it is because the houses that we're building now are super airtight. And so when you're in your home, and particularly this time of year when it's super hot, and you're running air conditioning and you're recirculating not only just the stuff that's in the carpets and the furniture, but it's what's coming out of your body. You're rebreathing all of these things coming out of your body. And one of the things, and I learned this from Carolyn, one of the problems they were having initially with COVID-19 when they were trying to work on it in the labs is that they realized that they were tracking it in on their feet. And a big way to really help eliminate a lot of germs that are coming into your home, a lot of bacteria, is to take your shoes off outside or have a mud room or a place where when people walk in the door, they can actually remove their shoes, and then you're not tracking that around the house as much. I thought that was really interesting. They were having a hard time with their test results because they didn't realize that they were bringing it in and introducing it in the air of the labs. So I thought that was interesting. So really, thanks for those tips.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. And we have some more future episodes where we'll be sharing more design and decor tips of how to tackle your house one either room at a time or one quick thing that you could do to really help improve your life while in quarantine. So
well, that was really great. And if you have any questions about any of this, particularly this air purification or a natural way to purify your air, give me or Poonam, send us a question, send it to info or send it to Alex at remodelrevolutionradio.com or remodelrev.com, either info or Alex, however you want to do it. Send it to Poonam. What is your email? Do you have email? You do have email.
I do. It's Poonam at Urban Loop Studio.
Yeah, send her a question if you have it, or send it to us on Facebook, and we'll talk about it in the next show. Okay, so if you're thinking about doing a closet, you want to redo a closet in your house, and you want to make it custom, you want a beautiful closet, you need to call my friends at Closets by Design in Dallas. Closets by Design, DFW in Dallas. These are really beautiful, well thought out. They have 30 people on their design team. They build all of their components locally, keeping our local people working. And they are an excellent company. I've known them for over 30 years here in Dallas. And I highly recommend you give them a call at 972-361-0010, 972-361-0010, Closets by Design. Go to them for your, now listen, they also do garages, they do home offices, they do laundry rooms, they do it all. So go to Closets by Design or give them a call, 972-361-0010. I was doing some research, looking around the internet. Every time I'm looking on the internet, I think I'm doing research. Makes me feel like I'm making myself most smarter. And I came across a really interesting article about how the pandemic is affecting women in construction, women workers. And it had some very interesting statistics. This came from, I don't know where it came from. I think I found it in House is where I think I found it. I didn't write down where sorry guys, hope you don't get mad at me. But it seems that there's a little bit of difference between statistically, but women are about maybe 2 percentage points not quite as good as men in construction, in loss of jobs, loss of revenue. But I thought it was really interesting that they're even being discussed, because this was not the case just a few years ago. It seems like it says within the specialty trades, women have fared better, which I thought was very interesting. In February, females were 11.7% of the total trades employment, and only a rise of 0.4%. I don't get it. I hate getting into all these numbers because you just kind of glaze over. But mostly historically, women have been in the sort of management end of these businesses. The average remodeling company, I'm sorry, I didn't make this clear, we're referring to remodeling. Remodeling companies typically are less than 10 people. I mean, they're normally even smaller than that, maybe 5 people at the most. They're small businesses. And most of the time, women are sort of delegated to the management end of it. They're doing the important part, the office work, the part that keeps usually it's a husband, it keeps him, in that bass boat, keeps him out of trouble. And so when you have these recessions, you don't normally discuss the women in the workforce part of it, the women that are actually working in the trades. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always fascinated by that. And it seems like it's kind of, because it's a necessary business and they're keeping us working, we don't have a huge drop off. We have somewhat of a drop off in statistically. Number wise, that's not the case. Number wise, at one point we had a 75% drop off in construction overall, or remodeling overall. And so it was pretty critical. Now I'm finding it coming back a little bit right now. I'm getting phone calls every day right now with people wanting me to look at projects. And I'm telling you, for the last 3 or 4 months, that has not been anywhere near the case. It's been really slow. And so I think the feeling I'm getting is that I think there's a lot of pent up demand for people that are either, some people think it's, well, they're living in the house and they see the things that they want to do, and all of a sudden they're wanting to do them. It's like, why have I waited so long? Well, you haven't been here. and some things, people are doing themselves. They're repainting, simple tasks. That's why Home Depot and Lowe's parking lots, you can't find a spot to park right now, because and when you go in there, you'll see a lot of husbands and wives. It's very interesting. It's very interesting to me. What are your feelings about women in the workforce? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I do. I have a lot to say about it. Well, first of all, where are they? I haven't, I've been in this industry for almost 19, 20 years, and I've only seen 2 females on the job site. One of them we had hired to do an inspection on a property we were going to buy. her name's Christine Shack. She's probably worth bringing on your show. She's pretty cool. She did a great job for us. And the other one was somebody who was brought on to a bathroom remodel we did actually for our house. I actually wasn't sure if it was a girl or a boy. And so I followed her. I mean, I'm getting myself in trouble.
Don't give her name out.
No, I don't know. I don't know their name. But I was so excited. It was really the first, what I thought was, a female contractor. And so I followed her around to really get to know her. And she was an actual female contractor. I was, and I've been looking for female contractors to work with and partner with. I had even popped into NAWIC. NAWIC is the National Association of Women in Construction to find female contractors. And my experience there was similar to what Alex had mentioned earlier, which was a lot of them are on the management side, sales side.
The brainy side.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
great. At the same time, where are the female contractors? I do know of a bigwig female contractor. You might have heard of her, Diane Cheatham. She was, she's become more on the development side. She's known for the modern home development here in Dallas off of 75, and I think it's like Walnut and Forest, but it's called Urban, I'm drawing a blank. But basically, it's a development of modern homes, and she was the contractor for all of those homes.
There's a lot of now, of course, we've done a series for several years. I intended to do a 4 or 5 part series. Ended up, it's just been kind of ongoing, called Women in Construction, and where I've interviewed women from all over the country that are builders and remodelers, and of course, they're in the management end of it. For the most part, it's such a physically demanding industry that there's a lot of projects that just don't suit women. I know I'm probably going to get hate mail for this, and I'm sorry you don't agree, or you want to see it, but men are stronger than women, and a lot of this is just hard for people that aren't strong to do. I mean, it takes a lot of power and stamina. However, one of my favorite people is a lady we've had on a couple of times that owns a roofing company, and all of her roofers are female. And the first thing I asked her is, how are they getting those heavy bundles of shingles up on that roof? And she goes, well, we're not like men. We don't have to put everything on our shoulders. We have tools for that. We're smarter than you guys. And I go, yeah, you are. Anyway, there are a lot of women in construction but they're at the smart end of the stick. They don't have to be out there sweating. Okay. That was an interesting discussion, and I think we need to do more of it. And we need to promote more women in construction and keep that thing going. I really appreciate you coming in today. I loved your tips. It was really a lot of fun having you here, as always. And that's Poonam Patel, Urban Loop Studios in Dallas. Give her a call. Check out her website. She's a very talented designer. She can get anything you want done. She's amazing. Thank you, Ziggy Becker. Thank you, On Air Media. Thank you to our audience and our sponsors. As always, we love you and cherish all of you. Sponsors, audience, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week with another episode of Remodel Revolution. Have a great day.
The views and opinions of this program are for educational and entertainment purposes only and are not intended to replace the recommendations of a hired professional. You can catch Remodel Revolution anytime. Follow the show on the website, remodelrevolutionradio.com, or on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest, using the handle @Remodel Revolution Radio. You can always listen to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and TuneIn, and watch the show anytime on YouTube.